Well, even though Hurricane Idalia did not make direct landfall in the Bay Area, we still felt its punch. Many communities left clearing up debris and figuring out what's next. Even just preparing for a storm can be quite stressful. And if you've gone through a past hurricane, the trauma can be hard to shake. And this week marks the peak of hurricane season. So new tonight, I talked to a licensed therapist and our own chief meteorologist about what you need to do to keep your mental health in check.
The water is the big issue.
As Hurricane Idalia headed up the coast, you may have been ordered to evacuate. And if you're feeling a bit stressed and exhausted, you're not alone.
Even as native Floridians, right, we can see that storm is out there brewing up, and it does tend to bring up some anxiety.
Licensed therapist Sharon Clime recommends through the rest of the hurricane season, don't isolate and don't consume yourself with every detail of what's heating up in the tropics.
We all want to stay informed, but we do want to be mindful that we are not hyper fixated on the news and not switching channels, to get every angle that we can. Take some time and do some things for yourself, whether that's, reading a book or playing games with your family.
If you have a family member or friend who's struggling with mental health issues right now,
definitely keep reaching out to them. And if you're noticing that they are doing some of the things that I talked about, like isolating, or they're discussing with you that they're having nightmares or flashbacks, it's really important to get them involved with a therapist and get them plugged into the community somehow.
If you're a hurricane survivor, Clime says, get the help you need.
PTSD, it's not just a combat-related illness, right? It can come from anywhere. And so just being aware and knowing that if I'm having these flashbacks and if I'm having these nightmares, that I need to talk to someone about these, and we need to work through them.
How do you personally handle it? Because on air, you obviously are effortless, right? Keeping calm, but how do you personally handle that stress?
I think it's easier for me because I just dive into the work. You don't think about all the other things. You just think, where's the storm going to go?
Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips is an expert at tracking the tropics with Florida's most accurate forecast. But how does he stay calm during a hurricane? Dennis says it's all about preparation.
You hide from the wind, you run from the water. And for my family, they know that I'm going to keep them safe because I'm not going to wait to the last minute to get them out of here.
Dennis knows all too well hurricanes churning in the Gulf can make many emotional and scared, even our own colleagues.
There was a time with Ian and with Irma where I walked into this newsroom and there were people that we both know very well that were crying because of the stress. And honestly, that's kind of when I learned that it isn't just about getting the forecast, it's about getting people through a storm, holding them by the hand, and you know this. You take the folks by the hand and you walk them through it. Why talk about what ifs? What if this? What if this? Let's focus on the forecast and go from there.
And knowing rule number 7, I had to ask, does he ever freak out during hurricane coverage?
Wendy, I'm the kind of guy who worries about things that I can actually control. I mean, there's so many things out there, especially with weather or anything else, that's out of our hands. And I'm usually not really worried about those sort of things because I can't do anything about them.
Meanwhile, if you or someone you know is struggling with trauma from a storm, there are several treatments that can help, along with medication. For more information, visit EliteDNA.com or head to our website at abcactionnews.com/notalone.